Good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday. Happy 10-Bip Live. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Perry. I'm the host of this My Bourbon podcast. Of course, if you haven't listened to the show before, or if you are here for the first time, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're watching on the replay, thank you for doing that as well. Hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. And subscribe to the channel. Donnie the Linux Cat, first chatter of the evening, just says, howdy. Hello to you, Donnie. Hello to you, Mike Meyer. Says, cheers, Perry. Cheers to you, too, my friend. Hope you're well. Meowdy partner from Swan. Meowdy to you, too, Swanee. Good to see you. Donna Shida, aloha. Aloha to you, my friend. Hanging with Bill Robarge. What's cracking, homie? It's crack-a-lackin'. I'm Tony, and this is your Bourbon Podcast Live. Do you guys like the little BBC News logo? Oh, by the way, hello, Tony. Good to see you, my friend. Made a fake little BBC News logo. I thought it turned out really good. I need to fix it up a little bit. I had a couple of spots that weren't perfect, but such is life. Such is life. How's everybody's week been? How you been doing? I feel like it's been a minute since we've chatted, and it's genuinely only just been a week. But you drinking anything good? You been drinking anything good? Let me know. We got a lot of news that we're going to get to tonight. This is going to be something that I wanted to implement a little bit more with live streams moving forward, especially since it was something that we used to do with the podcast. We don't really do too much anymore. That just becomes more of a topical thing. And there's so much news that we could cover, and I wanted to make sure that we included that in some form of the content. And so we're gonna run down some stories. Talk about some things that have been going on in the industry, in the community over the past couple of weeks. Just get everybody caught up on some new releases as well. But if you also are like Donnie, you've been drinking 2 advent calendars. That sounds like a fun night. Swan is here. Bill, you're all right? But if you would like to show your support for the show, you can do so through our form of super chats. They are called Snuffy Chats, in support of Mr. Snuffleupagus back here, the patron saint of 10-Bip Live. You can do so through the Stream Elements link in the description below. I've also pinned it at the top of the YouTube comments. The live chat, you can leave a message. You'll see it right up here on screen. Anything helps. You people are beautiful and wonderful. Thank you so much for all your support, as is. And, of course, you can go to Patreon and support the show at patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast for as little as $1 a month. For as little as $5 a month, there's bonus content over there that you get every daggum week. Every Monday, there's a bonus episode. Every Tuesday, there's the pregame chats, which come out before the main episode, and an uncut episode as well of the primary main feed content. So check that out if you feel so inclined. It does help the show quite a bit. I need to pour something, so I have a little something in my glass before we get moving too far. You know, it sounds good. It's killing a bottle of Maker's Cast Strength. Darren Wright is in the chat. This is your birthday song. Happy birthday, Darren Wright. Hope that you are doing well today, sir. Cheers to you and making it around the sun for another rotation. You're 1 year older. Happy birthday, my friend. It's good to have you here. I heard a large portion of the patrons happen to frequent meat counters in Kentucky. That is true. That is where the majority of our patrons are sniped from. It's from Kentucky meat counters. Having a Manhattan to celebrate, doesn't that just sound fantastic? I'm glad you're well enough to drink as well, Darren. That's good. That's good to hear, to know. Oh. This is an excellent Maker's Cast strength. A lot of cherry. A little bit of grain, but not overly. It's almost like a roasted grain. I like it. Don Nishida never wins meat. You are correct, Tony. Except for the off chance that he does. No, I meant to add something to this now that I'm thinking about it. Yes, I am over 21. Goodness gracious. Don't worry about it. I'm not supposed to be drinking, but it's my birthday, so, you know. Hey, that is completely understandable, man. You gotta do you. That's what I was having. That's what I was gonna include here. There were a couple things, actually. There we go. Now I'm set. Good deal. Good deal. Don won a cowtail? I must have missed that. Hello, your Huckleberry. Hey, Perry, 2 weeks in a row, 13th colony in the glass. Tasty. Have not had 13th colony yet at all. Joseph Brazo's in the house. Hello, Joe. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. It's good to see you. All right, shall we get into the news? I feel like we should get into the news. Let's talk about some things that are happening in the world of bourbon. Actually, I'm gonna move. No, I think you can see more here. So, a couple of days ago, first two things we're gonna run through are with the Kentucky Distillers Association and the Craft Trail. First and foremost, the Kentucky Distillers Association announced new board officers and directors. We're going to get through some of the dry stuff here first, and then move on to some of the more exciting things. But Frankfort, Kentucky, this was announced 3 days ago. On December 4th, the Kentucky Distillers Association today announced that Jessica Pendergrass of Heaven Hill Distilleries has been elected chair of the 143-year-old nonprofit trade group that unites, promotes, and protects the signature Kentucky bourbon and distilled spirits industry. Pendergrass, who is general counsel and chief compliance officer at Heaven Hill, will begin her term January 1st, 2024, and serve through December 2024. Now, one of the reasons that I'm bringing this up, first and foremost, is just, first of all, to say congratulations to Miss Pendergrass. Why did I forget her name all of a sudden? Jessica, sorry. Jessica, this is an absolute fantastic honor to see somebody, especially from Heaven Hill, who is just somebody who, oh no, Joseph, one of my 2 liquor stores closed. That is awful news. I'm sorry to hear that. Bad news. Terrible news tonight, Joe. Anyway, especially somebody who has such insightful knowledge of the industry, as somebody like Jessica Wood from being a compliance officer for Heaven Hill. Just really, really good to hear. She first served as chair in 2020, leading the KDA through the global pandemic, when the industry came together to create hand sanitizer and fill the supply chain void. Here's something I wanted to bring up. That's actually, this is off topic, but the hand sanitizer thing that happened in 2020, apparently those are not clean enough to truly be considered hand sanitizer that we need. There's something about the chemical makeup of it that I can't remember, but apparently it wasn't exactly what they were needing, but they were just happy to have the product in general. KDA leads the way for Kentucky Bourbon, America's native spirit, and to be given the opportunity to serve as board chair once again is an honor, Pendergrass said. We have a bold strategic plan that will cement Kentucky Bourbon and KDA as the voice of this signature industry and spirit around the world. There's a whole list of folks who are other new board members for 2024. Mark Irwin, the president and CEO of Bardstown Bourbon Company. Andrea Wilson, friend of the show, chief operating officer and master of maturation at Michter's. Cave, excuse me, from Rabbit Hole. Awesome guy. Wonderful. Jade Peterson, master distiller from Kentucky Artisan. Just a great list of folks who are going to continue to support and encourage bourbon growth, not just in Kentucky, but across the world. The KDA also welcomed a Western Kentucky Distilling Company as its newest member back in November. There is a newer one that we'll talk about here in just a moment. Kentucky Distillers Association announced that Western Kentucky Distilling Co. in Ohio County is the newest member of the nonprofit trade group. Located in Beaver Dam, Western Kentucky Distilling Company broke ground in 2022 by Jacob Call and J.D. Edwards. The distillery offers contract distilling with plans for signature brands and a visitor center down the road. Yet another new big brand that has popped up. I'll say big, but we'll see as time passes. The reason I wanted to bring this one up in particular is that we are quickly seeing an increase of new distillers out of Western Kentucky. Why is this like this? What was that? Of course, one of the more notable ones, of course, is Green River in Owensboro, but there are quickly becoming more and more Western Kentucky distilleries that are popping up. However, there are a few that have made their name in the same way that Green River has. So hopefully we will see Western Kentucky Distilling Co. Get up and running before too long. At the heart of the $30 million investment is a 36-inch copper still, complemented by copper condensers, a doubler, and 15 state-of-the-art fermenters, producing up to 50,000 barrels of bourbon and rye whiskey each year. Awesome. First official distillery in Ohio County. And you can head to wkydistilling.com for more information. And as of yesterday, another brand new member was added to the Kentucky Distillers Association, General George Stillhouse. Now, look, I don't want to be mean, but I hope that this is just a, why is this not zooming in? I hope that this is just a small mock-up for what we're going to see from this distillery. I'm sure it is. I don't mean to be mean, but yeah. Kentucky Distillers Association announced General George Stillhouse in Grayson County. Located in Falls of Rough, General George Stillhouse was established in 2022 by Travis Wilson, professor at Western Kentucky University. Yet another Western Kentucky distillery. The farm distillery is located on property once owned by George Washington, 3 miles from Rough River State Park. It operates 2 pot stills within their 7,000 square foot production facility, 1 for bourbon and 1 for gin. A 3rd still will arrive next summer, allowing them to increase production to 12 barrels daily. Very good. I'll get caught up on the chat here in just a moment. I apologize. KDA President Eric Gregory congratulated Wilson on his endeavor and noted this is the first distillery in Grayson County in south central Kentucky. Oh, apologies, not Western Kentucky. There are now distilleries operating or set to open in nearly 50 of Kentucky's 120 counties. Now, here's the part of this that I found potentially the point that this kind of brings up, and it's while it is nice to see, of course, yet another distillery popping up and somebody else getting the accolades that come with being added to the Kentucky Distillers Association. There is a very specific point here that I want to make. There are now distilleries operating or set to open in nearly 50 of Kentucky's 120 counties. You would think that in Kentucky, in a state, in a commonwealth, with a county literally named Bourbon County, it's Paris, Kentucky, Bourbon County, that there would be more than one distillery in the county, right? And there were ones that were around prior to Prohibition or closed down during Prohibition. But and it's not even a dry county. It's not dry. You can even buy liquor on Sundays there. Not that, there are fewer and fewer dry counties in Kentucky, and we're actually expanding the sale of alcohol on Sundays as well. I believe to earlier in the day, it was for a while up until you couldn't sell alcohol in stores before 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You couldn't serve alcohol before 11 o'clock in the morning at restaurants or bars. I guess I don't know if bars are even open that early on Sundays. Good or bad thing, I don't know. But the main point being that in Bourbon County, why is there not more that has to be offered? It's something I've just been contemplating recently, but hopefully more comes from that before too long. Anyway, we at General George Stillhouse are excited to become members of the Kentucky Distillers Association, Wilson said. The organization's long heritage and leadership in making bourbon central to Kentucky's identity is one of many reasons for us to join. As lifelong Kentuckians, we are honored to be members of the world's premier spirits association. You can find out more at ggstillhouse.com. They're aging between 1 and 10,000 barrels per year as part of the craft level. The KDA now has more than 60 member distilleries, most since the repeal of Prohibition. Happy late repeal day, everybody, by the way. I'm going to pop my face up just a little bit so I can read the chat. Don Ishida got 2 bottles of Old Route 8 this week based on Brian Bikey's recommendation. Hope they are good. I have only had Old Route 8 once, and it was quite wonderful. I'll have to come to Kentucky to shop. You could do that, Joe. You could do that. That sanitizer smelled like corn. I kind of miss it. It did smell like corn. That was a fun time. Evening, everyone, and hope that everyone is sipping something good. Good to see you, Gary. Oh, wait, no, that's not Gary. It's Miss Franchi. It's good to see you. I hope that you are doing well. Looks like something from The Sims, the GG Stillhouse. Absolutely. Tornado Alley Distilling Co. I think it is a crude rendering, yeah. Time to open a new bottle. Davidson Reserve 4 grain. Interesting. Don Nishida with a good question. We talk about Marvel fatigue. Are we approaching distillery fatigue? So many craft bottles out there now that are young and over $50. Yeah, absolutely. This is, I think, saying that we are fatigued in bourbon right now is a much better way of expressing how we specifically feel about something like the bubble bursting, right? And when we talk about the bubble bursting, we have all of these kind of like contributing factors to it. And I think fatigue is going to be a very prominent factor before too long. But if we're just talking about, craft distillery fatigue, yes, absolutely. I keep saying it. It's growing increasingly difficult to try to keep up with how many new brands there are, and it just becomes it almost becomes impossible to try everything. I would argue that it just is impossible. There's only so many whiskeys you can try. But anyway, MC, yay makers, yay indeed. Brewmaster1313, hello my friend. Hey Perry, what's up everybody? Hope everybody is doing well. I hope you are doing well as well. Hope y'all are having a great night so far. Moving on, speaking of Maker's Mark. This was filled, this particular barrel was filled on November 28th of this year. Maker's Mark has filled the first barrel of certified Regenified bourbon. Big win for sustainable farming. Excuse me. Now, easiest thing for us to do is to go ahead and get out of the way talking about what Regenified is. In layman's terms, what Regenified does as an organization is they work towards, of course, sustainable farming, especially farming that has a focus on soil quality and ensuring that everything that is going into the environment is sustaining the quality of the environment that allowed for things like trees, corn, wheat, rye, barley to continue growing there. So a kind of a long way to say they are working on being more sustainable. But Maker's Mark is the first certified Regenified bourbon maker out there. So we'll certainly see how that turns out. It looks like it's a full 53-gallon barrel as well. Let's see here. It becomes the first spirits distillate to achieve this certification designated by Regenified, a leading third-party regenerative agricultural verification and supply chain solution company. With this certification, the brand continues on its long-term mission to cultivate bourbon that betters the world while crafting the most flavorful product possible. This historic barrel filling was made possible by the strong partnership and shared vision between Maker's Mark and its long-term partner farmers in the Kentucky community, who supply its corn and distinctive flavoring grain of red winter wheat, which together make up 86% of the iconic Kentucky bourbon's mash bill. To be certified Regenified, more than 75% of the grains in the mash bill must be sourced from certified Regenified farms that have demonstrated a commitment, like Maker's Mark, to restoring and revitalizing our most precious resource, our soil, through regenerative agricultural practices. Each of the brand's corn and wheat farm partners achieved Regenified certification this fall. It's interesting that and it's always fun for me to see the kinds of things that are happening. Pete over there making things up. Yes. It's Regenified, Barry. Don't you know? Anyway. What I was saying, it's always interesting to me to see the kinds of things that are happening behind the scenes when it comes to distilleries and what they've kind of been working on without a lot of people knowing about it or without it getting, to the public necessarily. And seeing this, I mean, the biggest thing that we are concerned about right now, I think, with bourbon is just the fact that the sustainability aspect of it is so skewed towards one-use products, single-use products, that there's not a whole lot of room to find renewable, sustainable resources, and knowing that there are farms now that are out there working with bourbon distilleries to encourage sustainability, to encourage renewable resources, is really, really encouraging. And I think that it's just, it goes to show that we not only have come a long way, but we do still have a long way to go for, sustainability efforts in the industry. However, this should be considered good news, I believe, because it's on the right track. Joseph says, I am no longer chasing the newest and hottest. I'll just drink the legacy brands and their various expressions. I agree. I agree with you. I don't really like the chase of it all either. But as far as like Marie, it's okay. Dog's barking. But as far as like the having to when it comes to like somebody like me, where I have to kind of be in the know as part of like my continued efforts to provide good content, it's hard to keep up. It's hard to maintain a Rolodex of information that I'm able to go back to at any given time, full of the information concerning every new distillery and every new craft product, and it becomes exhausting, quite frankly. So that's kind of where I was coming at more than anything. Have you looked at Whiskey Advocate's top 20 for this year yet? I have not, but if we have time, we'll talk about it tonight. If not, we might discuss it next week. It would just kind of be an immediate reaction, more than it would be kind of thoughtful critique, I suppose. Herbert loves Regenified things. He sure does. That's actually his favorite. The newer they come, the better. I got some Regenified popsicles in the basement. Dramhound, hello Adam, good to see you. Cheers all, been lurking while getting the kids to sleep. Hope you're all well. Hope you are too, man. I hope you had a good trip this week. I am so sorry I was not able to meet up with you. This week just became crazy very quickly. But like I said, I hope you had a good week. It's very interesting, the Whiskey Advocate list. I am curious in checking it out. I just need to spend a little bit more time than just pulling it up on stream. But again, if I have time, then I might. But Sugar Kitty says meow. Hashtag multitasking. Make sure that you're doing all right. You're hanging in there. I trust you. But thank you for being here, Sugar Kitty. It's good to see you. All right, moving on. We are kind of blowing through some of this, so we might have a chance to talk about Whiskey Advocate. I don't know. We'll see. Because I want to spend a fair amount of time talking about Wilderness Trail as well. So I might reorder some of this. I think I will, actually. This is really cool. I don't know how many people have seen this, but I kind of stumbled across the news about it. and I wanted to bring it up. Woodford Reserve has announced a sensory lounge experience at the Istanbul, not Constantinople, International Airport. And that would be in Turkey, eh? Yes. Woodford Reserve is creating a sensorial experience. Should it be sensorial or sensorial? I truly don't know. That's a word I've never seen before. Sensorial? Does anybody know? Change my screen again. Sorry. All good, Perry. I'm the worst at planning, even harder when the trip was cut short. Next time. Yes, of course. Solid They Might Be Giants reference. Thank you. Somebody got it. It's a great song. Sensorial, though. Odd word. The pop-up lounge will run until December 31st and is staffed 24 hours a day. The sensory lounge will be a spectacle of the senses that take visitors through a Woodford Reserve journey. Said Elizabeth McCall, master distiller at Woodford Reserve, by engaging the five senses, we will introduce consumers to Woodford Reserve and bring the travel shopping experience to new heights. No, you can't go back to Constantinople. Sensory. Thank you, Donnie. You got it, too. Good people with good taste in the chat, knowing my obscure references. Woodford Reserve has partnered with Ulsa Academy, one of the leading culinary academies. Academy? Culinary academies in Turkey. They have crafted a special bonbon to give travelers the tasting experience of Woodford Reserve bourbon. Interesting. We are thrilled to join forces with our partners, Usla Academy, as well as Heinemann and Unifree Duty Free, to introduce the Woodford Reserve Sensory Lounge at Istanbul International Airport. This collaborative effort sets a new standard for unforgettable airport experiences. Quick fingers, yes. Yes, indeed. All I know is the Animaniacs version? I don't know. I had to look up how to spell Constantinople. Dyslexia slows me down. That's good. That's okay. Yeah. Way to do in Istanbul. Hey. Animaniacs, yeah, there we go. Did I get to the best news of the day yet? ADHD Whiskey is Chief Tasting Officer and Master Blender at Barrel King. No, I have not gotten to that yet. And I kind of forgot to include it in my lineup of news, but that is worth celebrating and talking about in general. Barrel King Matt Porter has just such a nice ring to it. So yeah, we'll talk about this real quick before we move on too far. Matt Porter has joined Barrel King, Mr. ADHD Whiskey himself, our dear friend. Wonderful, wonderful man, Matt Porter. Barrel King is thrilled to announce the appointment of Matt Porter, named World's Top Whiskey Taster by Bardstown Bourbon Company, as the newly appointed Chief Tasting Officer and Master Blender. Matt brings nearly a decade's worth of expertise in whiskey analysis and blending. His exceptional skills are set to elevate Barrel King's exclusive gold membership experience. Matt Porter's statement. I'm not going to do it in Porter's voice. He probably would put something out like that. Such a great dude indeed. He's just one of the best. Barrel King is one of the few underground, if you know, you know, whiskey brands. Porter. It has an almost secret reputation for outstanding bourbon and rye. To say I am thrilled with the opportunity to join a team as passionate and knowledgeable as theirs while they are on the verge of blowing up in the industry would be a massive understatement. It's no secret that I am passionate about bourbon and the art of blending whiskey, and I've always hoped to be able to one day blend on a professional level. This is literally a dream come true. I'm grateful for the trust bestowed upon me by Jared and Rachel. I'm humbled and excited that they believe in my skills enough to hand me the keys to their fantastic barrels of whiskey. If you are a Barrel King member, thank you in advance for your support. I cannot wait to start blending for you. Now, look, it's not that this is a good reason to join this gold membership thing. I like, just to get barrels picked by, products blended by Porter is awesome. I'm just I can't find anything that has the price. I'm sure it's a little expensive, but you know. But just WTWT, wild turkey. Just an excellent addition to their team. And I'll say this, Matt Porter, cheers to you, my friend. I'm sorry I don't have your Barrel King pick down here with me. It's up in the upstairs bar, or I would have some. But $125 a month, dadgum. I'd have to cancel a couple of streaming subscriptions to pull that one off. That is steep. So who is Barrel King? Donnie asks. Why don't we just read from the statement? Based in Bourbon, Missouri, Barrel King is the flagship brand of Old Road craft spirits, specializing in crafting exceptional bourbon and whiskey with a focus on quality, innovation, and community engagement. I would have to cancel Patreon and a streaming service for that. Yes. I've only had ADHD's and BJ's picks. They buy good barrels and do interesting finishes. The membership is a bit steep. Yes. Down to start splitting my membership and bottles with people. Heck yes. What does $125 a month get you? Bourbon Junkies. Sorry. A free monthly bottle pick. Direct access to new exceptional bourbons and whiskeys every month without the disappointment of waiting in long lines for allocations or wasting money on untested, underwhelming bottles. 2 free swag boxes a year. It's a bottle per month plus option to buy more. It's not free for $125. You're paying $125 a month for a bottle. It could be any kind of bottle, but it has the added bonus of being blended, picked, selected, however you want to slice it, by Porter. So if you trust his palate, if you align with his palate, I can imagine that being a super awesome way to get invested even more in his brand. I don't hate the idea of it, especially because I love the products that Porter has picked in the past, and I think he has an amazing palate. So I could see myself doing it, but and the other thing too is, like, I mean, think about it. Like, you might be spending $125 during the entire month for a couple of bottles. So this is basically you saying, well, I'm only getting one bottle a month, depending on your budget, of course. In some cases, that's all that people can afford. And that $125 is just one bottle. I mean, it's just how it is, you know? But anyway. They do not do their own distilling as of yet. The pick that he did earlier this year was a blend of MGP bourbons, I think, that was finished in Willet Purple Top barrels. It was very good. It was an incredible pick. One of my favorite things that I've had to drink this year. And I wish I had been able to buy more, but fantastic. Interesting. I've never had their stuff, but hope it's worth the price. I do too. Here we go. The finished barrels are like Stag Junior, Elijah Craig 18, Purple Top, etc. Yes. I wonder how many fans, how many ADHD fans joined Barrel King just for him. Seems like a great move on Barrel King's part. Yes, absolutely. I'm not even buying a bottle a month now. There you go. Barrel King aligns with my palate. I haven't been disappointed in any of the picks I've had to date. Having had only one and loving it, I definitely would like to try more. Chris from Down Under. G'day, everyone from Down Under. We're waiting for Lil to fly into Darwin to help with the final organizing for my brother's funeral. Chris, I am so sorry for your loss, my friend. Just absolutely, my heart goes out to you. I know this has been a tough year for you all, but you need anything, you let me know, please. I'm just so sorry to hear about it. Much love to you guys. Let's take a drink before we go any further. Bourbon's good tonight. You need Pappy? Hey, if we can pull anything off, I'm sure this community would be able to do that. Closest thing I've got to Pappy near me. Weller 12. In honor and remembrance of the eldest Tat's brother. Cheers, Chris. Love you, man. Pours from the floor. All right, I want to hop back into the news. Still got a lot to get through, actually. This is kind of exciting. Whether you agree with their politics or not, there has been some forward momentum in Kentucky trying to remove the European tariffs on spirits in the United States. Rand Paul and Mitch McConnell wrote U.S. Trade Representative Ambassador Catherine Tai requesting an agreement with the European Union that would remove retaliatory tariffs on spirits and wines. Creator and CEO of the Bourbon Flight, Jake Kratzenberg, follows industry trends closely and shares what this could mean for the bluegrass. It affects Kentucky on the fact that it's $560 million worth of exports that just come from Kentucky. This is exceptionally something that we should exceptionally pay attention to here, considering that recently there was a proposition that came to the Commonwealth that said we would like to remove taxes on barrels, that are aging in Kentucky, which I consider to be something that was a long time coming. I think I did a stream on it a while back, or an episode or something, and we discussed just how much of an impact that would have on Kentucky. It was in the range of like hundreds of millions of dollars that would be lost, that would go back into Kentucky because of those taxes being removed from barrels. However, there is a lot of money, of course, that is being paid on barrels that are not even dumped yet. It's just from product that is sitting and waiting. So to bring $560 million worth of exports back into, well, that money back into the state would be good. It would be good. It's about time those two politicians agree on something good. Amen to that. My brother was the original turkey fanboy. I have his signed bottle of rare breed, non-chill filtered that I had Eddie and Bruce sign 2 weeks ago with me. Whew. I talked about that extensively on the pod. Okay, good deal. Couldn't remember if it was the podcast. Couldn't remember if it was on a stream. But it has been a while. Efforts have been made to pause these tariffs for 5 years for spirits and wine and 2 years for American whiskeys. A report released earlier this year by the Distilled Spirits Council of the United States shows how exports declined because of the tariffs and rose again after a lift. In 2022, 44 states exported distilled spirits, and Kentucky was the second highest exporter. What would the first highest be? California? Texas? Highest exporter spirits, United States. Tennessee. Oh, Doug has a Jack Daniels. Duh. I should have known. Brother. It's not even close, though. Tennessee, $817.8 million in 2022 versus Kentucky's in second place, $507.3 million. Jack Daniels, yes. That is a major gap between the two states. I mean, let's be real here. I mean, that just goes to show how many people are drinking Jack Daniels. My goodness. You can't go anywhere without finding Jack Daniels on the shelf. That is true. Oh, sorry. Darren's right. Because of Old Smoky Moonshine. Yeah, once that Eggo Moonshine Cream or whatever hits. The world does love Tennessee whiskey. You're right, Donnie. I'm a little shocked by this as well, Matt. I mean, truly. The fact that it's $300 million difference, especially considering how popular bourbon is right now, the fact that Jack Daniels is still bringing in that much money for Tennessee, that's crazy, dude. That is so much money. That's so much more. Jack Daniels is selling so much more than bourbon is, period. Don't forget Dickel. That's true. Dickel should be considered in there too. World's most visited distillery, and I've still not been there. Hello again, whiskey friends. Hello again, Jeffrey Wack. It's good to see you. I hope you're well, my friend. The stores in Chile are filled with Old Smoke and Dickel. There you go. Straight from the first-hand horse's hand. Horse mouth. Anyway. The larger distillers like Sazerac or Jim Beam, they may be okay, but it is the smaller distilleries like Whiskey Thief or even Castle and Key that will be hurt because a lot of their exports and a lot of their production goes over there. I am sorry, Jake Kratzenberg. I am going to fact check you on that. Whiskey Thief doesn't export. They don't even distribute. They don't distribute their product outside of their distillery. Castle and Key, yes. Whiskey Thief only sell their product on site. So just you know, check your sources maybe. The senator's letter explains that under tariffs, American whiskey exports dropped 20% between 2018 and 2021. It also explains that at the beginning of 2024, a 50% tariff is set to hit the American whiskey industry. All bourbon is... No, come on. No, don't get me with the all bourbon is whiskey. Don't make me read that out loud. Anyway, a good move. A good move. But, you know, those, as Darren said, those two senators, I feel, yeah. International sales, it's everywhere. Every island, cruise ship, space station, they all have Jack. That is true. That is true. But seriously, it was only Beam, Jack, Bullet, and Turkey 80 proof in Chile. I mean, it's not a horrible lineup. I could find at least one or two things to drink out of those. Yes, all bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon. $9 billion industry in Kentucky. Crazy. Anyway. Moving on. It's Pappy Gate 2, y'all! No, it's not Pappy Gate 2, but there 21 pallets of bourbon stolen from Owensboro Distillery. And this is actually Owensboro, Indiana. Not even Owensboro, Kentucky. Owensboro Police Department officers say there was an attempt to reroute 21 pallets of bourbon from the Glenmore Distillery last week. This was earlier in November, but I don't feel like I didn't see anybody or hear anybody talk about this. So I figured I'd bring it up here on stream. Police say a report was made on Friday from the distillery. The police report shows it happened, blah, blah, blah. It shows the stolen liquor is estimated to have a value of around $70,000. There is a suspect, but we don't yet know the identity. Again, this was from last month, so it's possible that we could have found more out. Glenmore is a subsidiary of Sazerac as well. Officer Evans says there were two victims in this theft, Sazerac and the General Wholesale Beer Company. Heard it was just misplaced, but they found it. What the heck is a Glenmore distillery? I don't know. Either that or someone tried and brought it back. It's possible. Possible. I thought Glenmore was Green River's old name. If it is, I didn't know that. Maybe it is Owensboro, Kentucky then. Oops. If I could spell. Oh, it is Owensboro, Kentucky. I don't know anything about. Yes, I'm over 21. I genuinely do not know anything about Glenmore. And it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of information out there either. Interesting. Well, it's good to know that they got it back. Good to know they got it back. All right, before we hop into Wilderness Trail, golly, it's almost 9 o'clock. Maybe we're going to go into overtime. I don't know. Rebel Small Batch Reserve Kentucky Straight Bourbon, $35, weeded at 110 proof. From Lux Row, Defiantly Smooth Weeded Bourbon. Oh boy. Lux Row announced this week the release of Rebel Small Batch Reserve Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, featuring barrels that were hand-selected by Lux Row Distillers Master Distiller John Rempe. That was hard to say. Lux Row Distillers Master Distiller John Rempe, and blended into small batches. A limited allocation is set to reach retail shelves across the country later this month at a suggested retail price of $34.99 per bottle. 110 proof. I didn't have a whole lot to say about this other than I'm curious to try it, but I have not been overly impressed with Rebel products recently. 10-year stock is slowly becoming not. Glenmore was the one turned into a warehouse just for aging. Oh, okay, gotcha. Easy to steal from them, from that, I suppose. Anyway. Rebel products have just been okay recently, I feel like. Like I said, the source product is kind of, it's withering away. They also are, kind of relying on some of their earlier first run of products that they didn't really have a good test for up until now, when it's finally getting to 4 to 5 to 6 years old. So we'll see what happens over the next few years with those bottles. I am excited just to try this, especially at $35 for 110 proof. I need to get a bottle of this for sure. Cheers, y'all. Cheers to y'all, Bourbon Bites for port finish. Yes. Hopefully I'll get to stop in at Clifton's stream for a little bit tonight. I'm not sure. But thank you for being here, Em. Good to see you. Sorry I'm late. Hello? Good to see you, Pat. I don't know if I'm going to make it all the way to Cliffy's stream, but I will definitely try to be here for a little bit. I really want to talk about the 10-year anniversary of Wilderness Trail and their 10-year bourbon that they're putting out. And this is actually happening tomorrow in Danville, Kentucky. So if you are nearby and you love Wilderness Trail much like I do, this would be a good thing for you to come and check out. Gonna go through a few things here. Why is that crossed out? Interesting. This is from GoBourbon.com. Wilderness Trail Distillery began barreling bourbon in 2013, and now it's time to celebrate its first 10-year release. The distillery plans a twofold celebration on December 8th with bottle sales in the morning and a party that evening. Bottle sales start at 10 a.m. December 8th at the Danville Distillery at 4095 Lebanon Road. Music by Kings of Freon. Great band name. I'm more nearby than normal? What is that? Where are you, Pat? Where are you right now? I look up and you're just in the window into my basement. When fermentation experts Shane Baker and Pat Heist, co-founders of Wilderness Trail, started their distillery, they worked on a pot still. Producing one barrel required a 12-hour day. Their bourbon was the first known sweet mash bottle-to-bond wheated bourbon made in the state since Prohibition. The barreling of this special barrel, the distillery's second barrel ever made, coincided with the 80th anniversary of the repeal of Prohibition. 10 years later, the release commemorates the 90th anniversary of the repeal. In keeping with this theme, the 10-year bottle is housed in a rustic cedar box inspired by the smuggler's crates of the Prohibition era. Oh, you're in Florida. Don, we will get to this in just a moment. You're jumping ahead of me, but yes. Yes, yes, yes. The flagship wheated bourbon's mash bill is 64% corn, 24% wheat, and 12% malted barley. The cost of the bottle and cedar box engraved with Wilderness Trail is $280 plus tax, and the barrel will yield about 115 bottles. Sales will be on a first come, first serve basis. In addition to the 10-year barrel, the distillery will offer a 6-year expression of its high rye bourbon at 113 proof. Bottles will be $69. $280 plus tax. Can I zoom in on this? Why can't I zoom in? I don't want to inspect. I just want to zoom. Let me zoom. There we go. That way you can see it a little bit better on screen. I bet Kings of Freon are a cool band. Their music is chill, right? That's what I've heard. I don't even have a good follow-up to that. Donnie, I did the control and it wasn't working. Or command, or whatever. I guess if it's a one-off release of just 115 bottles, I can see the higher price. Tree Fitty. What's up, man? Good to see you. Barrel Proof EDC. That's a pill to swallow. It is a pill to swallow. Here's where I sit with this. Because I do think that it's easy to jump in and say that's a lot of money, and I do agree with that. I 100% agree with that. I couldn't agree with it more, saying that this is a $300 bottle. That's a lot of money. However, Don Nishida did just tip $10 and said, my contribution for your bottle of Wilderness Trail 10. Thank you, Don. Oh, yeah, sorry, Donnie. The Command Plus wasn't working for some reason. I don't know why. I am on a Mac, though. Yes. Love my Mac. I can understand, as Don said, that this is... Oh, by the way, if you want to tip like Don, you can head to the Stream Elements link in the description below. It's also pinned at the top of the YouTube chat. If you want to do that, get your little message up here on screen. Oh, you can't even see it on... There it is. You can see it right now, but you can't when I do that. Anyway. I can understand that they're trying to recoup some of that money from it only being 115 bottles. I think I saw that it's actually closer to 113. I could be incorrect. Like I said, I get it. But for the past few big releases, they've all been fairly affordable products. The 6 year, the 8 years, you know, they've been easy to grab. But this is less of a, and I know there's like an exclusivity to this. I completely understand that. However, the like collector side in me is like, crap. That was pre-Campari. An excellent point, but that was pre-Campari. That's true. Not to say that they, not to say that pre-Campari didn't, or excuse me, that Campari didn't have a say in the pricing of this, but I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I want to, of course, try this. I am curious. And I am happy to see another $5 tip from Tony Bag of Donuts, the donut man himself. He said, overtime party. Overtime indeed. Thank you all for hanging out with me in overtime. We'll keep going for a little bit. We may as well drink on some stuff, talk about some other stuff. This is just... I'm excited for anybody who gets to try it, who is able to buy a bottle. I just don't have time to make it down there to participate in the festivities as much as I wish I could. I have to work tomorrow. And we have to record tomorrow as well. And driving to Danville always feels like it sucks part of my soul out. So, I won't be able to make it, but hopefully somebody I know who is nice. Well, and Papa Ritter says overtime is fun. Hi, Papa Ritter. And Mr. Brian himself, your Huckleberry with the $5 tip. Shiz has gotten crazy with pricing regardless of the quality of the liquid and whether or not I buy it. It has gotten crazy, man. It's just, you know, I have to like control my frustration with it anymore because of how I totally understand that, ADC. Danville does always seem longer than it is. It always feels just 1,000 years away. For no reason, too. Excuse me. I want... Controlling frustration is a great way to put it. Yeah, and it's... Just because... This is the way that things are trending. I've gotten my frustration out, I feel like, and if I continue to harp on the things that are making me frustrated about this, it becomes unhealthy. So, I don't know. I wish that things weren't so pricey and crazy, but here we are. Unfortunately. I'm down in Richmond, so the only real way is back roads. I've made that drive before. It's not too bad. It's fun. It's a fun drive. But yeah. And this is all to say too. I mean, I am genuinely very excited. What excites me the most about this too is knowing that they have 10-year-old stock. And so there will probably be more 10-year-old releases coming from Wilderness Trail. I mean, this can't be the last one. Can't be the last one. So we'll see. But you know, it's just kind of disappointing we won't get to try this, I suppose. You know, best and I wish the best for everybody who does get to. That's exciting. But my collector side is like, I want to be able to have that one too. Had all the other age-stated one. It's frustrating the amount of whale products that keep getting released. Feels like the big ones have forgotten the middle folks. Yes, absolutely. And for more on that, there's a couple of podcasts that we've done recently where we talk about that. Trying to think new releases in American whiskey, Old Fitz Bottled and Bond. This one's 8-year-old. We just did a review of it. Jack Daniel's Distillery Selection number 12. This is a Tennessee whiskey that is finished in Oloroso sherry casks. Have not gotten that just yet, but would like to. Whistle Pig Piggy Bank, straight rye, 10-year-old, 110 proof, $250 for a liter. Hot dog. Konica, I don't know, Ridge from, so it's Konica Ridge, I think. Straight bourbon from Indiana, 5 years old, 100.6 proof, $50 nationwide. I like the bottle a lot. I would like to find out more about that as soon as we can. TX Experimental Series Double Oak from Texas, non-age stated, 98 proof, $40 for a 375. 1,300 bottles at the distillery only. Lost Lantern Winter Wednesday Whiskey Drop, 2 blends, 1 American single malt, and 1 bourbon, so 4 different whiskeys. Ranging from 100 to 150 in price. It's going to be in Vermont. Oh, man, there's so much stuff out. Hartman's Distilling Co. Cotter's Cask, 6-year-old, 122.3 proof, $100 a bottle, available at the distillery and New York retailers. A port finished Sagamore for $100, 9 years old. There's that Rebel Small Batch Reserve. 3-quart Dinosaur Jr. Heck yeah, dude. Awesome. Oh, it's 2 years old and 96.6 proof. Interesting. Anonymous with the $10 Snuffy Chat as well. Thank you so much. No message or anything, but cheers. Appreciate you. Please do smash the like. Adam's correct. Please do that. Bring back Forgiven at the original price point. Yes, please. It's why I like Green River, Buffalo Trace when I see it, Bardstown Origin, Smoke Wagon, Wild Turkey 101, and Rare Breed, etc. to drink and enjoy. Am I reading this year's? This year's what? Yo, Thrasher, that was who it was from. What's up, dude? Perry catching you for the first time live. That Snuffy Chat was from me. Good to see you, dude. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you've been well. It's good to have you along. No, this is not the top 20. This is just new releases that are out right now, Donnie. From the Whiskey Advocate website. I did give you a bottle of Green River last year. 3-quart also has a Hailstorm. Hailstorm or Hailstorm? Hailstorm. There we go. It's right there. Look at that. It's a blend of 2.5-year-old from Kentucky, Indiana, and Tennessee. They also have 3-quart Theory of a Dead Man. Awesome. 6-year-old Kentucky, Indiana, and Tennessee. Limited availability, $60. 3-quart Lucero. 2-year-old, $50, excuse me. A Blackstone Cherry. What is this for? Is there any particular release, like, because it all sounds like it would be for a for like a festival or something. I don't know. Broken Barrel Honey Smoke Reserva. Finished whiskey from Kentucky. 6 years old, 110 proof, $80. Available in California, Indiana, Kentucky, Minnesota, Oklahoma, and South Carolina. A couple of collectibles, I believe, are in here as well to note. Rabbit Hole Founders Collection Amberana. 12-year-old bourbon, $1,100. You know, just your standard run-of-the-mill product. That's it for releases as well. I think we'll save. I just want to open that for next week so I have it and I don't forget about it. You're one of my faves for making Maddie cry with joy. Hey, man, that's I take that as a compliment. That was a wonderful time. It was one of the best episodes of the podcast ever. First time, and it was before Matt was ADHD whiskey. He was ADHD fishing at that point too. During the first Beagle Rare. So go listen to that. But Thrasher, thank you so much, dude. Really good to have you in here. I'm tempted to go through this top 20 list since it was asked about, but I also no, I think I'm gonna save it for next week. Because we could spend a full 2 hours talking about the top 20. I'm not saying we would, but I feel like we would have a lot to discuss. So I'm gonna save that for next week. Almost got an hour 20 this week. So thank you all so much for hanging out, sticking with me. This was a lot of fun. This was a good stream. If you haven't yet, hit the like button, subscribe as well if you haven't done that. Thank you so much to everybody who supported through Snuffy Chats. You guys are awesome. Trying to think, is there anything else? Next week's podcast episode is a follow-up from an episode that we did a few weeks ago that a lot of people listened to. So tune in for that. And also listen to this week's episode. We reviewed the new Old Fitz 8-year-old bourbon. We have some good conversation. Eric and I get a little deep on our personal history. So I think that does it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This has been a lot of fun this evening. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I will see you next Thursday. But until then, I'm Perry, and this has been Tim Bip Live. Cheers, guys.